Hey there, Buffalo, Wisconsin Gardener. Welcome to the OCG Fam Show. To you, my YouTube buddies, what's going on? Let me know in the comments. We'll talk about it after the show. Before we get into the show, this is episode 1000. And I never saw this coming. I appreciate everyone out there that's made this possible for me to do this, for us to share this information and to, well, thank you. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Pot size. How big a pot to use compared to your canopy? What are the advantages, disadvantages? Scott and I talked about this a little bit and about how it kind of doesn't matter, but matters nonetheless. Watch the clip. I'll talk to you after.
Question number 1 from Jimbo, and some letters and numbers. Thanks for the video. Would you recommend using 3-gallon pots with clones? I'm using 7-gallon out of veg a little longer, but thinking I'm going smaller with more plants. So is he putting a little tiny, a little bebop into a 3-gallon pot or a 7-gallon pot?
Well,
or is he putting this guy, the one like a start?
Probably more of a start clone.
I got you.
Tiny seedling.
Like the thing when you go get your tomato starts at the garden store. It's that size. It's like it's a fully developed small plant. It's a teenager.
Yeah, it's probably well rooted, just ready to go find a home.
So what's the advantage of the 3-gallon over having a 7-gallon where you can leave it in the same pot longer? Is it just a philosophy thing, or what is the philosophy?
I've done it all ways where you put 16 plants under a light, 1 plant under a light, 3 plants under 2 lights. It's a labor thing, in my opinion. Personally, I think guys who want to turn and burn, they like putting more plants under.
Oh, you so can get more.
Flip them, fly.
Okay.
They're only growing tops. If you grow 30 tops of 3 gallons under a light, and you got like 16 under there, or you put everything into a 45-gallon pot and put it into 1 pot per light, and grow a bigger canopy. I've seen very similar yields both ways. So it's like.
It's whatever makes the most sense as far as your real estate.
Yeah, and your labor, your time, your enjoyment in the garden, what you get out of the garden, and how gardening is for you. But if you like watering more things, I've never gotten to a point where having more plants under a light has yielded more flower, but has yielded more work. But I've also enjoyed gardening, so I know that those days I get to go in, I get to inspect more plants, I get to enjoy what those plants are doing. But if I'm into a season of my life where I'm like not so interested in spending 2 hours a night watering, I'm going to grow, 1 plant per light, go in there, give it 5 gallons of food, water, and it runs autopilot for a day or two, and then I come back and my yields don't go extremely bigger or lower.
How many stalks you have does not matter how much canopy you have. It's the light and the nutrients and the inputs.
Farm and you look at his tops, there's 40 tops on a plant, or I can grow 41-gallon pots and get 40 tops on 40 plants, but then I have to run the risk of drying out plants over. You're not really ever going to overwater a 1-gallon or a 3-gallon pot, but it's just a different style, to me, this question really falls down, if you asked 100 growers, you're going to get 100 different variants, and there's no right, there's no wrong. It really comes down to your garden practices, and what you get out of that garden. So I think, starting at a 3, transplanting to a 7, if that was more of the question.
Yeah.
I like staging them up because I like my plants to, when I put a small plant in a big pot, most of us tend to overwater that big pot before that small plant can actually access it.
Actually drink that water, and so it just kind of sits.
Yeah. So 3-gallon and 1-gallon pots allow your plant to really grow into it. They really consume the moisture. You don't have the big risk of overwatering, and it allows you to step up transplanting more frequently. So it really is just a style, labor. It's a hard question to answer because there's really no right answer. And you could ask this, and I'm sure people in the comments will all tell you their opinion. But it's their opinion. What works for you? I've seen incredible farms with just stacked canopies of just pots on the ground, touching all the way down the line to, you got 10 plants in this 9-light room. That's crazy. And they're just like, well, I want to do canopies. So it all comes down to your canopy.
Okay, good answer.
Okay, what do you think of that? Informative, entertaining, helpful, useful, agree, disagree? What are your thoughts? Throw them in the comments and we'll talk about it. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow, episode 1001. The OCG Fam Show. It's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.